government says the primary choice is the Pfizer booster shot, regardless of what vaccine was originally given. David.
Stephanie Ramos. Stephanie, thank you. Now to California's recall showdown at this hour. Will Governor Gavin Newsom survive? Just hours left as that state votes. President Biden campaigning overnight with the governor, and even before Election Day arrived, leading Republican Larry Elder's campaign with a website saying Newsom had been reinstated, alleging fraud, again declaring this before Election Day. But tonight, what early voting and the polls indicate so far, Gutman again in California.
Oh, that's dope.
After the fight of his political life, tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom sounding confident he won't be fired by the voters of California.
Right now, I'm listening to Beautiful Lasers.
We will turn out and vote no on this recall. Do I have your support to vote no?
In the closing hours, Newsom turning the spotlight onto the leading Republican candidate to replace him, conservative radio host Larry Elder.
If we don't,
I want to kind of get through it here.
Larry Elder's the next governor of the state of California.
Let's see.
Oh. I'm gonna sound like Obama. Don't boo, vote.
President Biden hammering that same message.
He's the clone of Donald Trump. Can you imagine him being governor of this state?
Elder is taking a page out of the Trump playbook, already making baseless claims of election fraud before all the votes were even cast. His campaign launching a Stop California Fraud website, essentially saying he had lost and blaming the, quote, twisted results of this 2021 recall election. But the election is still going on. Not a single result.
All these right here.
Still,
not man.
Yeah,
all them.
Statistical analysis claiming to have
right here.
detected fraud
right
in California,
here.
resulting in Governor Gavin Newsom being reinstated as governor. And when it pressed Elder, he repeatedly ducked the question.
Is there any evidence of voter fraud?
773-273-0310.
Today, Newsom on the attack.
Stop. Grow up, people. These people literally are vandalizing our democracy and trust in our institutions.
And when should we go?
That's a 773.
Pretty soon, David, if it's a landslide, you can see them already counting the ballots behind me. But if it's at all close, officials say it could take up to 30 days to certify the victor. But, David, we know that Democratic voter turnout has been high. Polls right now are favoring Newsom. And earlier, when I asked his team if they have anything to worry about, their answer was simple: no.
David, Matt Gutman in California.
773-273-0310.
Book about the final days of the Trump presidency. The book by Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward.
The ones I just showed you.
Carroll.
Why don't you tell her? Why don't you tell her?
Joint Chiefs General Mark Milley took secret steps to prevent President Trump from potentially launching a military strike or a nuclear launch, and that the top general called his counterpart in China what he reportedly assured China the U.S. would not do. Here's John Carl.
In their soon-to-be-released book, Peril, Bob Woodward and Robert Costa report that China was so concerned about Donald Trump's behavior in the final days of the 2020 presidential campaign that Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley took the extraordinary step of secretly reaching out directly to China's top general. General Lee, I want to assure you that the American government is stable and everything is going to be okay, Milley told him, according to the book. We are not going to attack or conduct any kinetic operations against you. One reason for China's concerns, Trump's incendiary words about China and coronavirus.
There's a plague coming over from China. Here it comes. What a disgrace. What a disgrace.
Milley told the Chinese general not to worry. If we're going to attack, I'm going to call you ahead of time. It's not going to be a surprise. And after the January 6th Capitol riot, Milley called the Chinese general again, telling him, quote, we are 100% steady. Everything is fine, but democracy can be sloppy sometimes. Shortly after the riot, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi called Milley alarmed that Trump was both unstable and dangerous. Milley tried to reassure her, saying there are, quote, a lot of checks in the system. According to a transcript of the call obtained by Woodward and Costa, Pelosi responded, quote, he's crazy. You know he's crazy. He's crazy, and what he did yesterday is further evidence of his craziness. Milley replied, I agree with you on everything. Milley, the author's right, was certain Trump had gone into serious mental decline. During a meeting at the Pentagon, according to the book, Milley, who was actually not in the chain of command, told the top military leadership they were not to sign off on any order to use nuclear weapons without his sign-off. No matter what you were told, you do the procedure. Milley told them, you do the process, and I'm part of that procedure. According to the book, Milley looked everyone in the eye and asked each one of them to say they agreed.
This is really something, John. Former President Trump responding a short time ago.
In an interview just minutes ago on Newswax, the former president said that if it is actually true that Milley reached out to the Chinese and, quote, was willing to advise them of an attack or in advance of an attack, that's treason. Trump also said that the idea he was going to attack China is the most ridiculous thing he has ever heard. The book reports that Milley never actually told Trump about his conversations with the Chinese. As for Milley's response to Woodward and Acosta's book, nothing yet.
John Carl. Thank you, John. Now, the investigation into that deadly U.S. drone strike in Kabul just days after that horrific suicide bombing at the airport. Tonight, the Pentagon defending the attack, and here's Martha Raddatz.
The deadly U.S. drone strike came just 3 days after a suicide bomber killed 13 American service members and some 170 Afghans at the Kabul airport, and intelligence indicated another attack was imminent. For more than 8 hours, a drone tracked a car officials believed had linked up with ISIS. Officials say when the driver loaded the vehicle with what they thought were explosives, a Hellfire missile was launched.
It was a righteous strike. We had very good intelligence that ISIS-K was preparing a specific type vehicle at a specific type location.
Bystander video widely shared online capturing the aftermath of the deadly strike. But a New York Times investigation using surveillance video and interviews calls the strike into question. What the Pentagon thought were explosives may have been water canisters.